So Pedro Pascal is making headlines again ahead of the release of Fantastic Four, and it's not for the right reasons. At least not for a lot of people. Oh no, it's
You're
for the
right.
right.
It's not for the right.
It's for the left. The left reasons.
He's basically Pedro Pascal is going to Pedro Pascal, and he's going all in on politics, tripling down on politics. Right before they're going to have the new Fantastic Four movie and ahead of like the Star Wars Mandalorian film coming out.
Oh my God.
Like, is that next year? So
I thought it was like this Christmas it was coming out. But maybe it is next year. I don't know.
That's how much I give a shit. You know every date for everything, and now I don't care.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at too. So we just got done going through this with Rachel Zegler. I do believe her shooting her mouth off about her politics and attacking a bunch of people definitely helped Snow White fail at the box office. It certainly did not help it make any more money. I don't think it was the sole reason it failed. I think it's the same here. Like people were kind of on the fence about Fantastic Four, and now we've got him out there running at the mouth about political hot takes. F the people that try to make you scared. And he's talking mostly about right wingers and the what. Yeah,
he just signed him and like Mark Ruffalo and them all signed this pro Gaza thing, which I found very interesting because I'm like, wait, they're all signed the pro Gaza pledge or whatever they're signing, which we're going to look at in a minute. Meanwhile, Gina Carano got fired for putting a totally rational and historically accurate point take up on the internet saying, hey, they rounded up people and hauled them away and no one stood up and did anything. It was because you made you hate each other first. And that's what we're doing again. We should all probably stop hating each other. And that got her fired for abhorrent takes and anti-Semitism. And then Pedro Pascal signing this other stuff and calling Hollywood out, saying that the industry needs to do more. And the industry should, what the heck? It's your fault. And he still has jobs. I mean, they're just like giving the case to her.
Pretty much.
Because they won't shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's my thought on this too, is like, they're going to point to this and be like, how come Pascal can run at the mouth and he's allowed to have hotter takes than she had, and he's fine. He gets more movies. He gets more deals from Disney after the fact. So let's talk about it. This is Kneon. This is Clownfish TV. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And if you subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, you will get a woohoo.
Woohoo.
There we go. I got it right this time.
Good job.
There's a lot to unpack here. So do we want to talk about this letter first? Then we'll look at this article. I haven't read this article yet, but you were telling me about the letter.
Right. So there's this letter going around in the industry, and not a whole lot of people have honestly said. I think that there's 350 actors. They only give you some of the names in the Variety article. But I know Mark Ruffalo is one of the ones, Pedro Pascal signing it. And they're basically, it's going on about some photographer who got killed, and then going on how it's mostly condemning the industry, and then the far right and fascists and everything, because that's all the same thing, and anti-LGBTQIA plus people and people who are against Muslims and Islam and people who are against anti-Semitism. And I'm like, well, that sounds kind of, like an oxymoron there.
Yeah.
But,
it's basically how it reads to me is, why is Hollywood pivoting back to center? You need to get more political.
Yes,
you need to get more political. And also, this is a tough one because they're defending Palestine. I'm like, do you not realize how many Jewish people are in Hollywood? Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this is gonna be a kind of a tough sell for some people. In their write up in
the article, the letter from the Variety article, they have parts of it and they're talking about what they stand for, and I'm like, but those two things are, if you're saying you're pro Gaza and you're anti-Israel, then you can't say the stuff they said in the letter, and it doesn't make sense. Like.
Yeah, so this is where it's going to get tricky, because they're like, we're pro Palestine and also pro LGBTQIA plus and pro trans
and pro against anti-Semitism.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is gonna be like, maybe you should just stick to acting and kind of stay, because Because yeah, this is again in Hollywood, this is going to be a really tough one here. But yeah, we can talk a little bit about the letter. They said they're ashamed of passivity from Hollywood. Why is it that cinema, a breeding ground for socially committed works? What? See,
breeding ground for
socially committed works seems to be so indifferent to the horror of reality and the oppression suffered by our sisters and brothers.
Because they want to make sure people go to the movies and want to be entertained. They don't want your political opinions. Just because you're an actor in a damn movie doesn't mean that you're like, that everybody wants you to tell them what to think.
Right. As artists and cultural players, you are Mr. Fantastic. You are a stretchy man and a dude in space armor carrying a puppet.
You get paid a bunch of money to play pretend.
Play pretend. Like, I'm sorry. This is like, okay. As artists and cultural players, we cannot remain silent when genocide's taking place in Gaza. Can I say that? And this unspeakable news is hitting our community's heart.
You're just reading the letter.
I'm just reading the letter, YouTube AI bot. I'm just reading the letter. What is the point of our professions if not to draw lessons from history, to make films that are committed, if we are not present to protect oppressed voices? Why this silence? The far right, fascism, colonialism, anti-trans and anti-LGBTQIA plus, sexist, racist, Islamophobic, and anti-Semitic movements are waging their battle on the battlefield of ideas, attacking publishing, cinema, and universities. And that's why we have a duty to fight.
Basically, we're not getting our own way, and we're mad because, they're telling university students that, you should be protesting by locking people out of buildings and not letting students that are Jewish go to class, that kind of stuff. And how dare you? How dare you? Because you know what? We are silenced because it's all the far right fascists, colonialists, all that shit. It's all them. It's all their fault.
Oh my God. Let's collectively dare to look at this with precision of our sensitive hearts. It can no longer be silenced and covered up. Let's reject the propaganda that constantly colonizes our imaginations and makes us lose our sense of humanity. I mean, it's horrible that she died. I'm not, this girl, she's only 25.
Oh yeah, no one's arguing that I don't think that it was okay.
It's awful.
That being said, and here's my thing. My stance is, if Pedro Pascal and them want to sign this, they have that right to sign it. They have every right to believe what they believe, think what they think, to say what they want to say, and sign this if they want to. I believe they have that. Well, what is it they said? They kept saying, like, about Gina Carano, for example. You're free to do what you want, but you're not free from consequence. And it's like that. Well, you're not free from consequence either. Because here's the thing. You are allowed to do that, and that's cool. But if the studios come after you, then I don't want to hear it, because, that's the consequence. It's not fair that Pedro Pascal is allowed to sign something like this along with other people, but Gina Carano can't point out historically accurate fact that, Nazi Germany happened because they basically made people hate each other and let them walk away with their neighbors and friends. And that was completely true.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sorry, but these actors, I think, want to perpetuate that. They want you to constantly be fighting each other and angry with each other and divisive. And at the end of the day, I just think people in general are over it. The 95% of normies who aren't like on either extreme are sick of your shit. They don't care.
So that was one thing. So that's this letter, and there's a whole bunch of names on here. I saw Joaquin Phoenix was on here, whatever. And look, like, you're allowed.
Again, they have the right to sign that.
You have a right to. Absolutely, 100%. But what we're saying is, when you're working on Disney tentpole movies and you're out there, well, okay, it's not even the letter so much as this nugget here.
This is actually called, J.K. Rowling, piece of crap or something. I forget. But now it's, he says, fuck the people that try to make you scared, and then said, fight back and let them win. Well, you know what I say? Fuck the people who try to make everything political and ram it down your throat. Fight back. Don't let them win.
Yeah. He was not real.
And stop putting Pascal in every damn movie out there.
Well,
People are tired of him.
He might not be in every damn movie out there if he continues, because all it's going to take is for him to have a couple of box office failures. And if people trace that back to like, look, he just will not shut the hell up. He's plastered all over the Fox News. The normies are not coming to the movies because he won't shut up.
I believe he has complete right to say and think what he wants to say and think. Just like I think Gina Carano had complete right to say and think what she wanted to say and think. But like, it's not fair. The double standard is bullcrap for one. It's absolute bull. But two, it's like, I believe he can think and say what he wants, but he's not going to be free from the consequences of thinking and saying what he wants. Same with Rachel Zegler saying, I hope half the country has no peace, more than half the country, was probably a really dumb effing thing to say.
Yeah. So Pedro Pascal, this is at the Cannes Film Festival. So yeah, it's overseas. It's always overseas. And they say dumb shit.
Kissing their ass and telling them they're so wonderful. You are literally an actor who plays pretend. That's it.
Right. And it's almost all like science fiction temple franchises, right? Mm-hmm. Last of Us, video games, Star Wars, Marvel, you know what I'm saying? He was in Wonder Woman. It's not like he's doing like these art. I mean, I'm sure he's done some art house films, but that's not what he's known for. He's known for being that guy who's in everything inexplicably, everywhere. But he said, they had a press conference for Eddington. He told the journalists, fuck the people who try to make you scared. Fear is the way that they win. He said people were worried about re-entering the U.S. After making the movie.
This is stupid because other countries like Australia and stuff are telling them that they come here, if they're trans or if they're LGBTQ, whatever, that they're going to be locked up and all this stuff and how to delete stuff on your phone. I'm like, and there was people in the comments when they were posting this stuff from Australia and they're like, I'm gay and an American citizen. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like none of that's happening. But they're perpetuating this foreign media are perpetuating this narrative and it's not even true.
I told Wes from Thinking Critical, he's coming over here from the Philippines for the first time in I guess several years. I said, you better watch it. They're going to put you to work in the Tesla mines or something. If you come over here,
you're coming in here, that's what's happening.
Yeah,
don't
never
come
mind.
To the US, but it's a lot of lies. And I'm tired of the fact that he's like F the people who make you scared, which means anybody who doesn't agree with him. And the fact that he's allowed to say that, he's literally allowed to say fuck more than half the audience because they don't agree with you.
Yeah.
But Gina Carano couldn't even say something that was politically true. And her stance was stop fighting each other, stop being so polarized, basically stop hating each other. And his whole thing is, well, basically fuck all you.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, screw you, asshole.
I mean, she said, before she said privately that, her and Pedro get along fine, but I'm like, he is what she was talking about. He's the one that's going out there and trying to stir up as much shit as possible to make his point. Yeah, fuck the people that try to make you scared. Keep telling the stories. Keep expressing yourself. Keep fighting to be who you are. Fight back. This is a perfect way to do so in telling stories. Don't let them win. As long as you agree,
as long as you're on the same side as him.
Yeah. So this movie, I guess I'm not familiar with it. Joaquin Phoenix is in it. And Pascal's in it. So yeah, there's his art house film right there, right? This is his art house film right here. But it's an A24 film. It's about MAGA. It's at the height of the COVID pandemic in May 2020. Follows a standoff between a small town sheriff and Mayor Pascal. It sparks a powder keg as the neighbor is pitted against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico. So there's.
But it's basically what Carano was warning people about.
Yeah, pretty much. He's talking about, his family being immigrants. My parents are refugees from Chile. We fled a dictatorship and out of the frying pan into the fire. You can go
back if you hate it here so much.
I was privileged enough to grow up in the U.S. after asylum in Denmark. So, I mean, look, he's got his reasons. He's got his reasons for that. But this is okay. So this is let's see. This is one of the other actors in it, I guess. He said, I wanted to show what it feels like to live in a world where nobody can agree on what's real anymore, says the actors, says the Hollywood people.
That's like, irony.
Oh my God. The social force that used to be central in liberal mass democracies and agreed upon vision of the world, that's gone now. COVID felt like the moment where that link was finally cut for good. I wanted to make a film about what America feels like to me. I'm very worried.
again, COVID, when, they were enforcing people have to take shots different places and stuff. And now they kept saying everything was fine. And it turned out that it wasn't.
Yeah, it's getting memory hold, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You weren't even allowed. And we've talked about this before on YouTube. You couldn't even mention COVID during COVID. It was the weirdest damn thing.
Like the coof.
The coof is like literally the biggest thing going on in the world in decades, and we're not even allowed to talk about it. I think it's ironic that they have a salt ad on this page, but like, look, I get he's promoting this film. I get that, but this is a pattern of behavior that is going to, I believe, lead some people to not support anything he's in. And it's going to hit the studios in the wallet.
People are already turning on him because they're tired of him being in everything.
Yeah. It's like, God, you're insufferable. It's just like, you're just like, so I don't know, guys. We'll see. Will it have any effect on Fantastic Four or Mandalorian? I don't know, but it's definitely, like you said, Geeky, it's going to give Gina Carano's team a lot of ammo.
Yeah, because it's a total hypocritical double standard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Okay.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.